Hey everybody, how are you doing today? It's Laura. I do want to apologize for not having a whole lot of new videos up lately. My life for the past month or so has been just really crazy and really hectic, and I didn't feel super peppy, so I didn't want to make a video that's supposed to be really happy and chipper and just be sitting here upset. So I do apologize for that, but everything is getting better, so I'm going to be making more videos. And I might go over all the stuff that's been happening. I don't know, just once it gets better, I'll think about it. But anyway, today I'm going to be painting with you today. This is what I have come up with. I wanted to do something like this for quite a while. I created this a really long time ago, a few, like, 4, 5, oh goodness, no, more like 8 months ago. I created this and it just kind of sat there because, yeah. That's version 2. This is the first version that I came up with. It's 3 different canvases that I have hot glued together. I used some really thick texturizing medium on the canvas to try to get rid of these seams because the paints, they're from this company. These guys are the Prismy Fantasy, the Fantasy collection, and essentially what it does is you put a thick layer down and it sort of settles in a way that creates these really awesome patterns. And I combined a few different colors on this guy here and then I let it sit. And how I had it sitting, it was kind of tilted downwards, and because it's 3 different canvases, they each have sort of a divot in the middle of them, and I didn't like how it turned out. So I ended up buying a whole lot more of the texturizing medium for the canvas. I bought new canvases. I put down an entire tub of texturizing medium on this just to get them level, and even then they weren't perfectly level. But this is what it was. I spread it out a whole lot further to the edges, and then I painted the sides black and brought up some of that black to the sides to sort of hide that seam. I did want to take the paints and sort of move them onto the sides here and have it be all that sort of fun looking paint, but it took 3 days for this to dry just because I put such a thick layer on, and because I didn't want to move it and end up having the underlayers move and just have it not be smooth and flat. And I just didn't want to have to go through all of that, having to get a setup to let this guy sit. First like this to get the top, and then like this to get the tops of these, and then it would end up taking months just to get it like this. So, and I was already pretty done with it after just the 3 days of letting this dry, which is why it sat here for forever. And only recently did I go through and I paint these black sides on. So my original idea was to paint a koi fish on it because I love koi fish. I like drawing them. I think they're very peaceful, that you can add in a lot of personal flair and style to a koi fish. So that's what I'm wanting to do here. Now this surface is really interesting. It feels really nice to touch because it's smooth. Like that's the finish that it has on it. So I was using this guy, my first attempt, to sort of see what would go on here so that way I could sketch the fish on here. Pencils don't work. Colored pencils don't work. Crayons will work, but I don't know how well that would come off, and I don't own any crayons or any wax pastels, so I couldn't see how that would work. So I have chalk pastels. I got these at a local craft store, and they work really well. Just to show you, white pastel. It works really well, comes off super easily, and that was awesome. But I have a habit of drawing something and then it being off center. So what I did was I took some parchment paper because this is a very big piece and my normal sketch paper wouldn't fit all of the drawing area on it. So I took a piece of parchment paper, I laid it down on my table, and I traced around the shape of the canvases. And I ended up with, and I drew a koi fish. There we go. Can we see that? It's kind of hard to see, But I ended up drawing a koi fish, and he is not centered. Again! So I'm going to cut this guy out of the parchment, I'm going to set it down on top, I'm going to use my pastels to sort of outline it, and then I'm going to fill it in with paint. Now, the paints that I'm using are acrylic paints, they're a water-based paint. I will be using these guys, this company, just because I like them. They're cheap, they're easy to use, half the time they're on sale at my local craft store, and they're very thick, so I can use just a little bit of this and some water to get to the consistency that I was used to using. I haven't painted in a while, and I went back to college and they were like, hey, you need an elective, and I'm like, I'll take art as an elective. It'll be easy and it'll give me, you know, an overview of the basics. And my teacher wanted us to get this paint, and I haven't stopped using it since. I typically use like the Americana brand paint that is like pre-mixed in all the different colors of the rainbow, and it's very thin, whereas my teacher wanted us to use this because they come in very basic colors, and she wanted us to understand and learn how to mix paint, which is great. I know how, but it was a really wonderful overview, and I really sort of fell in love with mixing paints again. So I will be using this brand to paint with. These, like I said, these are the pastels that I'm going to be using today. So yeah, let's get started. Let's paint. Okay everybody, here it is, my finished fish. It ended up going a lot differently than I thought it would. But I'm really happy about how it turned out. I tried something a little bit different this time. Normally I will do like lighter colors to darker colors, or put down a base medium color and then add in shading and highlights. Because this ended up having a little bit of a different vibe than I thought that it would have originally, I just put down black because it was gonna end up making it a lot easier to get the fish shape there anyway. And it just sort of turned into this. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It turned out pretty nicely. And yeah, I am wanting to do something really similar with the other one that I had. I'm gonna be putting another layer of the base swirly paint on it and just seeing what happens. So yeah, I'll be taking you guys along on that journey as well. So please subscribe to me if you would like to see that. Also, please do follow me on Instagram. It's the same name I have here, LauraKitten92. I do a follow for a follow, so if you follow me, I'll follow you. Ta-ta. Stay lovely.